Hey, thanks for tuning in again. Video number 3 of our Angel Investor Operating System. Today, the most important part of this whole thing, the deal flow pipeline. So it will save you a ton of time if you use it correctly. And this is my main reason of building this operating system. And yeah, let's jump right in. As always, we are going to create a page first that we call Deal Flow right now. And then we want to use a board view that lets us move all the deals from the stage where we get them in our inbox, for example, over to the stage where we committed some capital or we declined the deal. And let's start with a new database and call it deals. We can hide the database title here. And as you can see, the different stages here are pre-populated, but obviously we want to use a little bit of a different style or different stages. And this is why we are going to start with a select here and call it stage. And I have several different stages prepared that I want to add here. And we are going to start with our new stage. So all deals that we get inbound through our emails, through intros or anything, but we haven't looked at. Then I want to have the review stage. So the first thing that we do after we have seen a deal. Then we go over to the first meeting stage. And obviously you can change that as you like, because I think every investor has some other preferences or other processes in place, but it's about having a clear structure on your deals. So new, review, first meeting, follow up. And then for me, depending on the deal, it will be due diligence. Or if I'm just like co-investing and I'm not looking closer at the data or something, then it's right to terms or negotiating, if there is some kind of negotiating. And afterwards, we are going to jump over to the committed stage. So I say I want to invest. And then we have the final stage, invested. So all the companies that come to my portfolio. And also we want to have a declined stage here. Yeah. Okay. And now as we have the stages, we can delete the status here. And now we need to customize the board view. Oh, it's already pre-populated. So this one is like the wrong way around. So let's just create some kind of structure in it. So first meeting, then we want to have the follow-up. We want to have the committed stage somewhere on the right. We want to have the due diligence after the follow-up. Then we have the invested after the committed stage. We want to have the new stage on the left. So every kind of new deal that we get. And we also have the term stage. The term stage is after the due diligence. Whoop. And last but not least, the review is something we do on our own. So after we get a new deck here. And yeah, nice. This is like no stage. We can delete the empty cards that are pre-populated in Notion here. And for the decline stage, we can hide that. It's interesting to save this kind of data if you want to have some kind of like analysis later on or see which companies you missed. But for now, we don't need that. And we can also hide the no stage for now. And yeah, jump over to the properties for every single deal. Okay, let's create a new card for that. And now we can open the card up. Yeah, open in SidePass. And we want to have the company name here. And before we created the table for our companies, so we can just use the relation field and say, okay, we want to have the company here. And we can also show it on the company page so that you can quickly jump from A to B and add the relation right now. So let's put that up first. And then we can use several lookups. So lookups are features or rollups, as it's called here, that we can use information from the company table, but also display it in our deals tab. So right now we want to have the company URL. So let's look for the company here. And as a relation, we can use the website. And we can also add as a property another roll-up that is the LinkedIn page. So let's look it up, company, and we want to have the property LinkedIn, and we are going to do the same for Twitter. So again, roll up. Notion is looking in the other table for the URL, so the relation company again, and we want the property Twitter. And now you can see it later on if I create some kind of example that you have all the data that you need here. And we want to have our persons. So let's also create a relation towards the founders. And we also want to show that on the founders tab, obviously. So we add the relation here. And later on, we will show all the different founders here of the company. And we can also do the same for the co-investors. So let's just create a relation here for the co-investors and add them to our deal flow card. Okay, let's take a look. So right now we have the name of the company, we have the company URL. Around assignment, this only makes sense if you're working together with multiple people on your deal flow. If it's just you, you can easily delete that property here. But if you're working with different people, for example, I don't know, working students or something, or analysts, you can also invite them to the operating system and work together with them. Okay, so some more information that I want to have here is I want to have the created time. So when was this deal created? Because I want to take a look how long it is in my pipeline. And for myself, it's also important to have an information on how I got this deal in terms of like intro, or was it an event or something. So I would call it source here. And then I can say, okay, intro, event, platform, for example, something like AngelList or something. I can get it through like VCs as a co-investor, and you can customize it for your own needs. But for me, it's important to know how all of my deals originated. And obviously I can also add cold here, because I get a lot of cold deals through LinkedIn, for example. And now we have all the major information. One thing that is missing, and you will already expect that, is the pitch deck. So add a files tab and say pitch deck here. And you can easily upload the pitch deck to your property. Okay. One thing that was still missing is the select for the round. So if it's a pre-seed round, a seed round, let's add that here and see that we have all the information in the card that we need. Before we jump over to creating some kind of template that I like to use. So Series A, Series B. And this is really, really cool in Notion, because now I can create a new template. And templates in deals are important for me because they help to structure the conversation with the founders. And for me, the idea is to create this structure that helps me in the calls to ask the right questions, but then also to create an investment memo for myself and also make the decision if I'm going to invest in the round or not. So I would divide my template into two things. So first one is the meetings I have with the founders. And here I'm always using a toggle heading, and I can say get to know meeting, date, and I will just put in some information and notes from the meeting that I have. And then I can create also a section for the investment memo. And for the investment memo, I have different types of areas I look at for every single startup, starting out with one, the product. So the idea here is to fill the information over time and have some kind of like guidance on the different parts of the deal. So product, then I always look at the market. The third thing that I look at is the competition. The fourth is the traction that the startup already has. The fifth is the acquisition of like user acquisition. marketing, sales, really important because a lot of startups fail because of a missing distribution here. The 6th area I look at is the business model. 7th is the pricing, the team. 8th is the funding or deal itself. So is it a good deal? Is it a bad deal? What kind of valuation also? And the 9th is reference, calls, or other. And I'm going to create this as like headings so I can easily look at them. And I will just quickly do that before moving over to the questions that I want to include into the different areas. And you will see in a second that this is really, really helpful in assessing all the different deals. And you can obviously customize that for your own needs, but let's take a look in a second. Okay, we are back. So I added some major questions that I ask most of the startups while meeting them, while talking about the product. So let's start with the product. So what is the product and which problem is solved with it? What are the core features? What does the product roadmap look like? For the market, how big is it? Is there anything special happening? And how does the company define their own market? Competition is about what they do better than the incumbents, but also than the direct competitors in the market right now. For me, most important, the traction. So since starting with the project or the startup, what have they accomplished? Do they already have customers, revenues? And this can be literally everything. In terms of user acquisition, this is mainly about how they win customers. So sales, marketing, which channels, and what are the related costs. The business model, how do they make money? Then the team, past experiences, what makes them special. And last but not least, funding, deals. So how much money do they need? What is the timing? And if you want, you can also do reference calls. And I know for a lot of angels, this will be too fully fledged in terms of investment memo. And you don't have to fill in every single question out of this. But for me, it helps me structure my own thoughts if I have these kind of questions that I run through in the call, but also in the pitch deck. And last but not least, I am always trying to have a section for open questions. So maybe it makes sense to put it up first because I can then use that in the next calls. And I will just make a short note here for all follow-up questions. And now we have created our template that we can use for every single startup. And let's jump back to the main Kanban view here. And what we want to do now is we want to customize the view options. So the properties that we want to show are, we want to have the company name, we want to have the company URL. We also want to have the round that we are investing in. And let's see what other things could be interesting. The stage, we can see it up here, but the founders would be interesting. And I think we forgot one important thing, and this is the valuation. So you can either work with post-money or pre-money valuation here, but let's say we are going to do the pre-money valuation here, and then we can use as a number format US dollars and put it in here. Also show it in the properties. And I will fill in some demo data right now, and then we can take a look together and see if all the data that we included makes sense and if we need something else. Okay, so I have created the first deal, and as you can see, let's open it. All the information that we need is saved here. One minor thing that we still need to change is the name for the investment memo part. So company name and round, and then we have the automatic population of all the templates down here. And another thing that I want to change is that for a lot of startups right now, you won't get the pitch deck as a PDF, but then we can just use the pitch deck property as a URL. So pitch deck URL, and in most cases this will be I don't know, DocSend or something that will be sent out. And I also want to show you real quick how I would create a new deal, that you have seen that for once. So for example, let's imagine we are going to invest in a new company, and the company will be created here. The company is named Junto. You can easily add an icon here by just copying the image address, for example, from their Twitter or their LinkedIn profile, and then you have automatically the logo here. Then you can add the data on the LinkedIn page on the one hand, but also you can add, so the category here would be education. We will add the deal later, and then obviously we need to create the founders at some point. So we can create Marius Hepp as a founder here, and we can just do that from here. And we can Johannes, we can create the second founder here. Oh, this was one too much. So we have the founders now here. Oh, and there's one too much. And now, as we have created Junto as a company, we can go back to the deal flow and create a new deal. For example, if you get the intro through someone else and create a new page, open it in the site, and we can use the template down here. And now a lot of the things will be pre-populated amongst the question that we want to ask. And in this stage, we now can connect the company. And as you can see, after I selected the company, a lot of the information on the founders and also the LinkedIn, the Twitter and everything is automatically populated. And the good thing is you can also always jump from A to B. The source here would be an intro, the pitch deck. I can upload it easily here or put in the URL. The pre-money valuation would be 10 million. And the round here would be a seed round. And yeah, now I have created a new deal here. And the idea for the CRM is to move the deal from the left to the right, and from having it in your inbox almost to actually committing the capital. I forgot to put in the information here. So seed round for Junto. And for example, if I just had the first call with the guys, I would put the card to first meeting, and then I can put that to follow up, due diligence and everything. And finally put it on invested. And to add some more information around here, I can put in another property that is around our investment. So if we decide to invest, we can add the number that we want to invest here and save that for our own information purposes. And yeah, this is almost it for now for the deal flow page. In the next video, we will look at some more information around how we show the portfolio, or also how we work with automations, and just like a little life hack amongst the founders. And also the company pages. If you click on founders here and you have added a new founder, then you can easily also include their profile pics by just going through their LinkedIn. And then you can easily copy the profile pic from LinkedIn by just using the copy image address. And then you can say, okay, you want to change the icon, custom, and you have the icon here, but this is just for people who really like to have the Notion file really, really clean, like myself. Obviously, you can also use it without any kind of profile pics or something. And yeah, let's take a look in the next video on how we will expand our Notion investor operating system.